In this video, we're going to do some conversions with metrics, so using the metric system. And the first thing we're going to do is going to kind of just talk about the metric system a little bit. You'll notice here in the middle, you see the M, L, and G. So that stands for meter, liter, and gram. So those are kind of the three basic units. And then each one of those can go in either direction with the prefixes and the correct abbreviation. So when you're looking at those abbreviations, notice that when you go to the right, they all end in I, which I think is interesting, and you get smaller, right? So you go to the right, you end in an I, and you get smaller. When you go to the left, we end in either an O or an A, deca, hecto, and kilo, and we get bigger. So the right is smaller, the left is bigger, and we have different ending letters. Okay. So when you're looking at this, a kilometer, one of these guys, is 1,000 meters, right? Shown here. So if you're thinking about what kind of identity ratios, because we use identity ratios in the conversion of US. So we could say 1 kilometer is 1,000 meters, or you could also say 1,000 meters is 1 kilometer, right? And we could go to the next one. If we'd say a millimeter is 1/1000th of a meter, or 1 meter is 1,000 millimeters, or again, we could flip it and do it this way. Now, I find identity ratios with the metric, even though they're all in powers of 10, sometimes I think that's what makes it a little bit tricky because they're all just ones and zeros. So we also, I'm going to do this first problem, this conversion, two different ways. So the first one, the average racehorse weighs 500 kilograms. How many grams is this? Well, if we're doing our identity ratio dealio, we start with what's given, and then we would multiply by the ratio. So we know we want kilograms on the bottom, and I know that 1 kilogram is 1,000 units, so 1,000 grams. This would allow my kilograms to cancel out, and I'm left with 500,000 grams, right? But you might say, well, I'm not really sure how to do the whole conversion. You know, which one goes on top, the 1 or the 1,000? What goes with what? It can be a little tricky. So with the metric system, we also have what I call the counting method. Now, you see in this problem, we start with kilograms. Kilograms is here. We want to go to grams. Grams is in the middle. So the piece is, you have to be able to count. Where did I start? How do I get to the other place? So I go right 1, 2, 3 units. So if I move my decimal to the right 3 units, that's how I know. That's how I use the notation on my paper. I use my decimal point 3 places to the right. So if I have 500, my decimal point right now is at the end. If I move it right 3 places, in those humps go zeros, and I now have 500,000 grams. So when it comes to metrics, I almost always use the counting method because that lets me go and move within by just simply moving the decimal point. So let me show you that again. In this one, we have 2,500 centimeters. Okay, so I'm starting in centimeters. I'm going to kilometers. That's over here. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units to the left. So when I see the number 2,500, my decimal point right now is at the end. I'm going to go left 5 places. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's my new decimal. I put a 0 in the hump. So my answer is 0.025. I don't need those zeros at the end. They don't really mean anything. Oh, I need a label. Kilometers. Okay? I love the counting method. And you will have this metric relationship piece on the formula sheet for an exam. And number 6, 5.2 kilograms is how many centigrams? Well, I start with kilograms. That's here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to the right 5 places. So if I have 5.2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Add the 4 zeros, and so I end up with 520,000 centigrams. In number 7, I again am starting with kilograms. So starting with kilograms, now I'm going to hectograms, which is here, 1 unit to the right. So 1, I end up with 52 hectograms. 5.2 kilograms to grams. So we're starting kilograms, moving to grams. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 to get there. So write 3. 1, 2, 3. I put in the zeros. I end up with 5,200 grams. In number 9, I'm starting with milliliters. Well, milli is over here, moving to kilo, which is down here. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to the left 6 places. So if I start with 24 and my decimal point is here, I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you can see I'm going to have 4 zeros in the front. So point 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that is kiloliters. But always make sure that you have that decimal point out front, because that does make a difference in the value. In number 10, that is number 10, 24 milliliters. So we're starting here, and we're going to centiliters. 1. So I'm just going 1 to the left. So if I start with 24 and my decimal point is here, 1 to the left gives me 2.4 centiliters. So I love the counting method. It's just a matter of knowing which way, right? Which way and how many. And that's why on my paper, you will see this if you look at any of my work, because that tells me exactly what direction. I go the direction of the arrow, and the number tells me how many places. If a wine barrel holds 119 liters, liters is in the middle, how many milliliters is this? 1, 2, 3. I move right 3. So I take my 119, there's my decimal point, and I go 1, 2, 3 to the right, add in my zeros. So if a wine barrel holds 119 liters, that is 119,000 milliliters. And hair grows an average of 15.24 centimeters each year. That seems like a lot. How many decimeters is this? Okay, so I started in centimeters. I'm going to go to decimeters. That's left 1 place. So left 1 place gives me 1.524 decimeters. Well, how many meters is that? Well, now if we go from, well, I'm starting in decimeters, I can move the left 1 more place, so I can move that 1 place, and I get 0.1524 meters. And that, my friends, is converting with the metrics using the counting method.